of Rhode Island. I'm not sure exactly what you're looking at right now, but after that you're going to see the only balloon in the parade, the Popeye balloon. Tomorrow I'm going to have to figure out why there's one balloon and it's Popeye.
I should point out that the bushes are enjoying a lot better light than anybody else has along the parade route right now. There's bright artificial light out here near the reviewing stand, creating a kind of man-made moonlight almost that illuminates these floats and groups as they pass by.
I understand too that it's well heated over there, which is more than I can say for over here, but I don't think the bushes are very cold right now. This is the Cranston High School West Band from Cranston, Rhode Island. There are 42 more units still to go by before this parade is over.
Well, Susan, of course, the fundamental and most remarkable thing about this day is that, again, it is a peaceful transfer of power, this inauguration. We started the day with one president, and we're finishing it with another. George Bush puts his stamp on the presidency right at the beginning with an impromptu walk during his motorcade so he could be closer to the people as he led the procession. After his swearing in, he had emphasized that changes are in store for us.
You solemnly swear.
A new breeze is blowing, and the old bipartisanship must be made new again.
And so the passing of the torch before the grand parade down Pennsylvania Avenue. That includes, of course, Susan, a lot of familiar faces in the parade.
Yes, and a lot of local people are marching today. There are representatives from every state, but many local people are out there. I.J. Hudson standing by with a review of some... Oh, I'm so sorry. It's not I.J. Hudson. We've heard from him, haven't we?
We're going to move ahead and look at the inaugural ball situation.
Keep me straight, Jim.
Okay. Preview, glittering festivities honoring George Bush. Barbara Harris is going to join us now live, Susan, from the Air and Space Museum, where one of tonight's largest parties is going to be held.
Hi, Peter. I should tell you to warn everyone to be sure to dress warmly. It's already pretty cold and windy out here in front of the Air and Space Museum, where one of the 8 or 9 balls will be held. In fact, there are 9 balls in 8 locations around the city tonight. 2 of them are being held at the convention center. They are all by invitation only, and tickets for the events cost $175 a person. In addition, there will be 2 balls for young Americans. Those were $30 a person. Some 12,000 young people are expected to attend the balls for young Americans. You know, we think of the balls as being an important part of the inaugural events, but however, the first 3 presidents didn't have balls at all. They were sworn in with solemn and very quiet ceremonies. So the balls begin tonight at 8, and a lot of people are expected. We'll be here to tell you all about it.
And I know that means a lot of gowns, a lot of limos. Everybody's excited about the inaugural galas tonight. We have much more to show you from here, but right now let's go back to the studio and Peter Ford. Peter?
Thank you, Susan. Still ahead on Live at 5, more news of the day, and we'll cross live to Miami with George Michael, the preview of the Super Bowl. All this ahead on this special edition of Live at 5.
Ford presents some tough decisions. Right now, you can get 4.9 financing on a new Ford Escort, the best-selling car in the world. Or you can get $500 cash back. But do you want the 4.9 or the cash? Don't answer yet. You could also get 4.9 on America's best-selling compact pickup, Ford Ranger, or get up to $750 cash. Which will it be, 4.9 or cash back? You'd better decide soon, before Ford's tough decision sale ends.
You know, for some time, Montgomery Ward's been rolling back prices on 10,000 items all over the store. Well, here at Electric Avenue, they've reduced prices on top brand names permanently. Sony, Panasonic, RCA, Maytag, GE, Frigidaire. Plus, they'll match any other store's advertised sale prices. So why shop anywhere else? Electric Avenue! at Montgomery Ward.
Montgomery Ward, the Prestige Savings Store.
Ed Walker and Bruce Allen on Talk Radio WRC.
I'm telling you, Bruce, we have all the ingredients you need for a terrific morning show.
Right.
I mean, we have frequent news and traffic updates, never more than 3 minutes away from time and weather.
But there are a couple of differences.
What do you mean, such as?
First of all, we talk to the people that make the news.
Yeah,
And here's us.
What do you mean, us?
Well, we have a good time.
Sure we do.
And they pay us for it.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they do. We get paid.
You haven't seen the memo, have you, kid?
Don't tell me.
Advice, information, and great conversation on Talk Radio 980 AM WRC.
To be successful in delivering packages to Europe, Canada, and Japan, it takes a lot more than fast trucks. It takes a knowledgeable worldwide staff, a computerized tracking system, and, of course, a fleet of planes that fly there. Insist on all four. Worldwide service from Federal Express.
If you own a home, check out Statewide Capital. We'll be glad to show you how to get a personalized, custom-tailored home equity loan that meets your special needs at excellent rates that are fixed for up to 15 years with fast approvals and no prepayment penalties. Borrow $10,000 to $250,000 or more. Simply call our toll-free number, 1-800-DIAL-CASH. That's 1-800-DIAL-CASH.
Hello, Statewide Capital.
In other local news today, actor Griffin O'Neal, the son of Ryan O'Neal, will spend the next 18 days in a Maryland jail after failing to meet parole conditions. The younger O'Neal was in an Anne Arundel County Circuit Court today in connection with a 1986 boating accident on the South River in which a friend died. O'Neal had been ordered to perform 400 hours of community service for the reckless boating conviction, but he served only 60 hours.
Well, I was found in violation, which is true, and I'm here to pay my dues, and I'm going to do it with my chin up.
Your lawyer said you've had a tough time in the last year or so. Can you explain what life has been like for you?
It's been tough, but I'm okay.
O'Neal was allowed to perform the community service in California, where he lives, but according to his lawyer, the 25-year-old O'Neal has not been able to find work as an actor. As a result, the attorney says he cannot afford to perform the community service for free. The latest problem with the D.C. ambulance service has hit District Fire Chief Ray Alford personally. Alfred's father-in-law, John Patterson, died yesterday of a heart attack, and authorities are now investigating whether a delay in an ambulance call contributed to that death. A preliminary investigation shows the ambulance failed to respond to a phone call and only showed up after someone from Patterson's household went to the fire station in person. This is the first major problem for the D.C. ambulance service since Alfred became fire chief on December 1st. D.C. police are investigating the gruesome murder of a young woman whose body was found early this morning in Northeast. Police responded to the 1100 block of H Street about 3 a.m. They say the victim, who was in her 20s, was severely beaten. The woman was transported to the MedStar unit of Washington Hospital Center, where she was pronounced dead. Police are investigating whether the woman was sexually assaulted. They have no suspects. District police are also trying to find the parents of a baby girl who was found in a bathroom stall at the Children's Hospital Wednesday. The baby is 1.5 to 2 months old, but weighs less than 5 pounds. Still, she's reportedly in good condition, and she's presently in the custody of the D.C. Department of Human Services. When the little girl was found, she was dressed in pink clothing and wrapped in a pink blanket. If you have any information regarding the whereabouts of the baby's parents, you're asked to please call 567-6763. 567-6763. When we come back, we'll have more news, and we'll go back live to Susan Kidd in our broadcast booth across from the presidential viewing stand.
Growing up in Seoul, my friends and I would go off to a special lake where the sun danced on the water and the fish couldn't wait to be caught. Now that I live in America, I'm meeting new people and catching new fish. But I still go back from time to time to the place where the sun danced for my friends and me.
Who says you can't go home again? Go ahead. Reach out and touch someone.
Combines the painkiller and Tylenol with the decongestant and Sudafed to give you more than either one alone. It stops the pain. Sinutab stops the pain.
When the burning, itching, and soreness of hemorrhoids flare up, Tux medicated pads give you soothing, cooling relief on contact. For hemorrhoid flare-up, get Tux from Park Davis.
Our family's first American was Benjamin Turner, a slave who broke Alabama law by learning to read and write. Freed from 40 years of slavery, he organized a group of black firemen, prospered in business, and became Alabama's first black American in the U.S. Congress. The Edmeads and Todds of Rockville and Washington are proud of our great ancestor.
Nearly every family can trace its heritage to one bold first American whose spirit inspires us all. We're First American, the bank for all Americans.
Look who's already a winner in the Give Me 5 test drive. Scott Kilmer of Stevens City, Virginia. And John Pino of Silver Spring, Maryland.
And you can win too. Just walk into a Washington area Chevy dealer and take any new car or truck for a test drive. No obligation, nothing to buy. Just say, give me 5 and you could win $5,000. Remember, there's a new winner every week, so there's still time for you to win too. At your Washington area Chevy dealers, Give Me 5 test drive.
Watching the weather on Channel 7 is a lot like watching a revolving door. Weathermen come, next, and weathermen go. Now, over at Channel 9, even good old Gordon Barnes is suddenly out of the picture. Today, only one meteorologist has the experience it takes to predict Washington weather accurately. Bob Ryan on News 4. You know him. He knows Washington weather.
Let's go back now to Susan Kidd, who's with Arch Campbell in our broadcast booth, right opposite the presidential viewing stand. Susan, Arch?
Thank you, Peter. Well, a lot of celebrities are in town because of the inaugural activities. I've said inaugural so much, Arch, I can't get it out anymore. Arch has been rubbing shoulders with all those celebrities. Who have you seen, Arch?
This is a four-star week if I've ever seen one. It started all this week. You know, you've been hearing that Washington has turned into Hollywood this week, and ladies and gentlemen, it is the truth. Let's watch now a few more strange and unusual sightings from Inauguration Week.
Are you selling? You know it's big time when ticket scalpers are roaming around looking for folks advertising. This is the scene at the D.C. Convention Center Thursday night. Cosby Show favorite Sabrina LeBeauf is impressed.
This is spectacular. I mean, for those of you who weren't here, if you could just see all the people, and it's kind of crazy.
And George Hamilton showed up with a tan in the middle of January, and if that's not big time, I don't know what is. Now, a lot of folks would like to use this opportunity to rekindle their careers. For instance, here are the McGuire Sisters.
Well, the McGuire Sisters' greatest hits will be released on compact disc March 1st, MCA.
And comic Fred Travelina is willing to do his Bush imitation for anybody who'll watch.
My 1,000 points of light are as clear a statement as any man could make. There are these lights, they come to a point, and there are 1,000 of them.
Jackie Mason is writing an article for the New York Times titled The Inauguration According to Me.
They don't go to these things because of the occasion. They go to these things because it's an excuse to dress up, to feel important, to think you're going somewhere. All day long you're sitting in your house with your wife with nothing to talk about. And they tell them there's an occasion. About what? I don't know. Good. Good, let's get there as fast as possible. Then they start getting nervous that they'll be late and they forgot where they're going in the first place.
Now, where could I write for a transcript of this? Mark Russell, however, does not need this inauguration. It needs him.
Button up your overcoat when the wind blows free. Take good care of yourself in the presidency. Boop, boop, be doop.
Well, we all have our overcoats buttoned up down here in the News 4 inauguration booth for this very exciting night. I'm going to go out and try a lot of balls this evening and maybe see a few alternative things, too. So I'll see you back at 11 o'clock.
All right. Thank you, Arch. This is a big event, but, of course, for sports fans, there's a big event this weekend. Let's go back now to Peter Ford in studio. Peter?
Thank you, Susan. Still ahead, George Michael will join us live from Miami with preparations for Super Bowl 23. And he'll have the latest on Coach John Thompson's continuing protest against the NCAA when this special inaugural edition of Live at 5 continues.
Eisenhower, do solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
That I will faithfully execute the office of the President of the United States.
And will, to the best of your ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
Preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help you God.
So help me God.
I don't ask for much, do I? Little gas, little oil, an occasional tune-up. I mean, look at me. My plugs don't have that old spark. I'm hard to start. I hesitate. I hate that. Well, I've got the answer. Precision Tune. They'll diagnose my problem, tune me up, and guarantee it. So take me to Precision Tune. Whew. We better get going.
Precision Tune. We do more than fix your car. We guarantee it.
Bowling in the USA. Bowling in the USA.
How do you get the good times rolling? You get your friends together and go bowling. It's great fun on the weekends. And if you're coming out on a weeknight, call ahead to be sure lanes are available. So make your plans now.
Bowling, bowling, bowling in the USA. We're back bowling, bowling, bowling in the USA.
Charles Mann for Swanson Hungry Man.
In my line of work, I really build up an appetite. The way I tackle it is with Swanson Hungry Man dinners and pot pies. That's because Hungry Man gives me home cooking goodness and more of it. So take this man's opinion. Swanson Hungry Man will satisfy your appetite.
Swanson Hungry Man dinners and pot pies available at Shoppers Food Warehouse.
This weekend, astounding prices on a quality motor car. This weekend, one of our perfect foursome. Regal, Century, LeSabre, or Skyhawk from just $92.85. A new Buick for less than a Ford. A new Buick listed among the top in customer satisfaction. Prices starting at just $92.85. We admit our new Buicks are slightly underpriced, but our customers like it that way. Put us on your list. Your Washington quality Buick dealers.
The 7-Eleven Bowl Bash. In case unexpected guests drop by, stock up and save on all your beer and all your soft drinks at the 7-Eleven Bowl Bash. The 7-Eleven Bowl Bash, official sponsor of all your bowl game needs.
Tonight's sports report is sponsored by the D.C. Lottery and Charitable Games Control Board and by Esquire Clothiers, menswear and custom tailors.
Well, we have a new president. The next item on the agenda is to find out who our next NFL champions are going to be. George Michael joins us now live from Miami with the latest on the Super Bowl and on the story in the NCAA. George?
All right, let's start first of all with John Thompson. Peter, first of all, good afternoon from Miami, where over our shoulder they are expecting a crowd of around 200,000. You see, the city of Miami wanted all the residents to be able to share in the Super Bowl celebration, so they're having a street party tonight that runs about a mile long. They expect well over 200,000 people, and they have their fingers crossed that it will all go off with a great deal of ease and no pain. Now then, about John Thompson. He met with Father Healy, he met with Frank Rienzo, met with his advisors, and really John doesn't take any advice, but he did meet with those people whose opinions he respects. Following his meeting and after a trip out to Kansas City to meet with the NCAA, John Thompson stepped to the microphones around 5 o'clock. And for his comments, here's Coach John Thompson of the Hoyas.
We have had an opportunity to go to Kansas City, sit down and talk after several discussions by telephone, and I've decided to return to coaching my team based on the fact that I think that there's a sincere effort on the part of the people in the NCAA, the two presidents, Massengale and Whitty, to make a sincere commitment to take this thing back before the convention and to reevaluate what has happened. And I feel very comfortable with the fact that within the system there is being an honest effort to rectify the problem that I had a grave concern about. And I think it's quite obvious, based on the confusion that has come out surrounding it, that there were people who really were not exactly certain as to what they were voting for anyway. And I don't feel in any way that anybody was doing anything maliciously.
Coach John Thompson returns to the bench for the Hoyas when they entertain Connecticut tomorrow. Here in Miami, aside from the fact that the 49ers are such overwhelming favorites to win this game, the most talked about topic of conversation: will Coach Bill Walsh of the 49ers retire on Monday? With that report, Rick Doc Walker spending some time with the coach and the 49ers.
When Bill Walsh and the 49ers won Super Bowl 16, it began a decade of 49ers supremacy. But the Walsh era could be winding to an end. The question is, will Walsh retire 48 hours after Super Bowl 23 is over?
Well, I apologize for so much attention given that. I know it must be a dead time this time of week, because we've said over and over that Ed DeBarlo and myself and his attorney and John McVeigh of our organization, the four of us will meet and discuss next year and ensuing years. That will include, as it does every year, who will be our coach, and all kinds of things related to that. And at that time, we'll decide whether to continue as we are or make a move of sorts related to coaching.
Super Bowl 23 could very well be Bill Walsh's last game as head coach of the 49ers. He hasn't denied or confirmed any of the retirement rumors. One thing's for sure, his players would hate to see him go.
If he was to retire or move out of the head coaching job, it would be a big blow to this team, but we've tried to consciously not think of it, because we look at it as maybe being a distraction to this ball club, and so we have not really thought about it. We're aware of it, and we want to win that last one for him if he does decide to step down, but it's possible he might be back. So, you know, as a team and as players, we have not really focused in on Bill thinking about leaving. Instead, we're just concentrating on playing the Cincinnati Bengals and winning this ball game.
Well, it really picks up the attitude on the team. You know, knowing this is the last game of the season, we want to finish the season well, and with the retirement, the possibility of Bill and Randy is now his, we want to send people out on a positive note, give them something that they can cherish the rest of their life.
In your gut feeling, though, you think this will be Bill Walsh's last football game as head coach of the 49ers?
I hope not, but I have a feeling that it will be.
You've got it. Will he or won't he retire? Peter, when we join you live at 6, we'll be talking with Doug Williams, the MVP of Super Bowl 22. Doug will join us live, and I'll tell you why I picked the Cincinnati Bengals to pull off the upset of Super Bowl history. They're going to beat the 49ers on Sunday. That and more when we join you at 6.
Thank you, George. We'll see you then. Let's go now back to Susan Kidd, live in our broadcast booth opposite the Presidential Reviewing Stand. Susan?
Peter, the Mormon Tabernacle Choir is the last group in the parade, and they are singing for the president right now. Let's go take a look. It sounds beautiful. Had the special privilege of being with President Bush at the swearing-in this morning, and he'll share that moment with us coming up next on Live at 5.
There's a new game in town, and I want in.
You mean 5-card cash?
Can't say I heard of 5-card cash.
It's new from the DC Instant Lottery. Scratch off all 5 cards on this ticket here, and you could win up to $500 instantly.
What's the ante?
Bucket ticket.
Deal me in.
Your odds of winning are better in the DC Instant Lottery's new 5-card cash game.
Now that's my kind of game.
5-card cash.
Whether on or off the field, you should always look your best. At Esquire Clothiers, find the latest styles and fashions for the look of success. Esquire prides themselves on their wide selection of sports coats, designer suits, dress and casual slacks, men's accessories, and much more. Think you're hard to fit? Esquire's custom tailors assure you a perfect fit every time. Make the right play. Visit Esquire Clothiers in the Wheaton Plaza.
Save up to 50% at Esquire Clothiers' winter clearance sale.
now through January 31st. It's an inaugural savings event at your new generation Oldsmobile dealer. Hundreds will trade imports because Olds has more. Price below Accord, Camry, Taurus. Get the comfort and resale value of Cutlass for as low as $99.95. Factory incentives up to $1,500 cash back. Compare the new generation Oldsmobiles as low as $99.95 now at your new generation Oldsmobile dealer.
Well, Steve Ducey joins us now across from the White House on this first night of the Bush presidency.
What a night it is. Well, there's no doubt about it, folks. This is George Bush's day. Naturally, every reporter in America is looking for a unique angle on the inauguration, so I came up with something no one else thought of. I went to the inauguration with George Bush.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Thank you. This man is now president of the United States. This man spent the day trying to see the new president because his name is George Bush. Really? See his ID? This George Bush is a records clerk for the U.S. Army of Fort Belvoir. He's also got the most famous name in America today. What happens when you tell people your name's George Bush?
I think it's a joke. Nobody, it's like nobody believes me until I have to show them proof. Fill up my ID card or driver's license just to prove who I am.
Do you guys believe this is George Bush?
Yes.
Yes. Let's see how the two Georges spent the day. Well, this George Bush arrived for the inaugural in a limo. This George Bush arrived for the inaugural in a Chevy Impala. This George Bush was kept away from the public, but this George Bush worked the crowd.
Well, hello. Nice to see you. Thank you. I didn't have a ticket. See, now I have you. Much better.
I'm glad I can make someone's day.
Makes history.
This George Bush was surrounded by security. You're protecting George Bush.
That's correct. Right.
Okay. George Bush, right there.
Is it no great nation?
This George Bush was on TV. That George Bush was near one. Now, if George Bush stopped by right now, would you give him a free button?
Probably.
Okay. Here's George Bush's military ID.
Oh, God.
That's George Bush right there.
Hi, George.
This George Bush had his wife at his side. So did this George Bush. What do you look forward to in the next 4 years as Mrs. George Bush?
Peace. I'm in the Army.
The Georges do have a lot in common. One's the commander-in-chief, the other's a soldier. That means both George Bushes are serving the country. So that's how these two men named George Bush spent the day. All in all, it was a great day for George Bush. Both of them. Good luck, George Bush. Both of you.
Good luck to both of them. Thank you, Steve. That's it from here. The last part of the parade is over. The president will be leaving soon, and Jim Vance is going to come up with News 4 at 6. We just heard the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. It gave everybody goosebumps. Back to you in the studio, Peter.
Thank you, Susan. That's our special edition of Live at 5. There's a lot more inaugural coverage coming up with Jim Vance and Dave Marish on News 4 at 6. Stay with us.
Snackers. The snack is back from Weight Watchers. Delicious. Real potatoes and natural flavors, quick crisp into crunchy chips. Great snackers and over 40 Weight Watchers foods in your diet section. This is living.
It's a new year. And for a limited time, your local Volkswagen dealer is celebrating with factory-to-dealer cash incentives and 4.9% APR financing on new Golfs, Jettas, and GTIs. So get 1989 off to a fast start. But hurry, 4.9% APR financing and factory-to-dealer cash incentives are only for a limited time and only at your local Volkswagen dealer.
It's the biggest January clearance ever at all Hub Furniture Centers. The Hub has millions of dollars in merchandise and only a short time to sell it. Everything must go, and go it will, with values like this glamorous sofa just $4.98. Imagine living rooms like these reduced. Complete family rooms, bedrooms in every style, formal dining groups, versatile sleep sofas, plush recliners like this one. The savings are incredible. Biggest ever January clearance at the Hub.
Hey, Lincoln, you lose. Base sticker price of the luxurious Chrysler New Yorker Landau is over $8,000 less versus Lincoln Continental 4-door. Get lower prices and high quality. Win at your Washington Metro Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
Hail to the Chief, tonight, 7:30.
We meet on democracy's front porch.
From here in democracy's front yard, our hometown, News 4 brings you, well, what our newly inaugurated neighbor calls democracy's big day.
I, George Herbert Walker Bush, do solemnly swear.
From the one event unchanged since George Washington, George Bush speaking the very words Washington spoke. Wife Barbara holding the Bible that Washington used.
So help me God.
Congratulations. To the inaugural address. Our departing neighbor, a hard act to follow, but the new president establishing an unusual inaugural first.
And when that first cocaine was smuggled in on a ship, it may as well have been a deadly bacteria.
To our neighbors, passing the torch. To the procession, you know, over there next door on Pennsylvania Avenue Northwest. The president taking a cue from Jimmy Carter and walking part of the way. And of course, there was the parade. So sit back and watch the pageantry that passed almost outside your front window as the whole country welcomed our new first neighbors. And so we wish you tonight a good inaugural evening. I'm Dave Maris. Jim Vance is at Lafayette Park, just across the street from the White House. Jim?
Dave, thank you. It was a grand day of pageantry, pomp, and circumstance. And we're going to start now with Jim Upshaw on his first day covering our new president on our new president's first historic day. Jimmy?
That's right. A joyous day, at times melancholy, Jim. Always a historic day. The passing of one era, the beginning of another. And George Bush, right from the beginning, has stamped this day as his own. This, George and Barbara Bush covering much of their motorcade route on foot, is what will live in the memories of many. It is not where Inauguration Friday began. Church was the day's first stop for the Quayles and the Bushes, the spiritual fuel for what would be a long and emotional day. What did George Bush pray for?
Strength, peace. Try to do a good job.
After White House coffee with the Reagans on this, their bittersweet farewell day, it was off to the Capitol for the swearings-in. Barbara Bush and Marilyn Quayle wearing blue, and their joy. Their husband soon to be cloaked in the American version of majesty.
I, James Danforth Quayle,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend, preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God. Fellow citizens, neighbors, and friends.
In a 20-minute address filled with metaphor, the new president called for new unity, aimed at a better nation and a safer world.
We live in a peaceful, prosperous time, but we can make it better. For a new breeze is blowing, and a world refreshed by freedom seems reborn. For in man's heart, if not in fact, the day of the dictator is over. Thank you for watching Democracy's Big Day. For democracy belongs to us all, and freedom is like a beautiful kite that can go higher and higher with the breeze. And so today a chapter begins. A small and stately story of unity, diversity, and generosity, shared and written together. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Afterward, Mr. Bush signed papers officially nominating his cabinet. He then was to say goodbye to the outgoing president. As he was en route, he recalled later, Mrs. Bush had to prompt him.
The Sergeant-at-Arms of the House said, "Mr. President," and I'm standing there waiting for President Reagan. And I feel something that was between an affectionate hug and a kidney punch. The Silver Fox telling me to get going.
The parting at the foot of the Capitol steps drew feelings to the surface.
I was trying to keep the tears from flooding down my cheeks. That's what was going through my mind. After 8 years of friendship, it's pretty tough.
Later, leaving the Capitol for the White House, Bush evidently decided Jimmy Carter had done something right, walked his motorcade route. The Bushes got out and walked part of Constitution Avenue, then walked part of Pennsylvania Avenue. And the First Lady planted a kiss on Willard Scott before the country's new leaders and their families moved to their vantage points in the parade reviewing stand.
Only 5 minutes ago, the Bushes arrived back in the White House, Jim, after seeing a quite marvelous parade here.
And I think it's notable that they stayed throughout the entire parade. A lot of other people left, but the Bushes and the Quails did stay.
Stood, saluted, waved, had a great time.
Had a good time. Thank you, Jimmy. This grand inaugural parade was grand indeed. The weather cooperated, the marchers marched, the bands played on. It was quite an event. I.J. Hudson was there. He joins us now with some highlights as he saw them. I.J.?
Well, Jim, for a few hours, Washington, D.C. was every place, every town, USA. You could hear a bit of a southern drawl, perhaps a where you at from New Orleans. Michiganders, Hoosiers, everywhere, all Americans parading for a new president. 211 units from all over the country. The military, schools, veterans from Texas.